The model year 2027 will bring with it new diesel emission standards that current generation engines simply can't meet. So you know what that means? We get new engines and new after-treatment solutions. I'm CCJ editor Jason Cannon, and join me for a quick look at Detroit Diesel's 6th generation DD series engines.
So on the Gen 6 platform, we're introducing a new oil lubricated high pressure fuel pump. That oil lubrication is an efficiency gain in and of itself. That pump has to work less hard to provide supply fuel to the fuel system. That high pressure pump also enables a even higher pressure common rail here. So up to 2,500 bar on the high pressure common rail. That's a change from the Gen 5. We used to have a lower pressure rail here and amplification within the injectors themselves. But this higher pressure rail enables us to use simple non-amplified injectors in the cylinder itself, with over the course of their lifetime provide a more continuous performance and more consistent performance over time. Going back, the oil lubricated high pressure fuel pump is also a bit of a robustness gain too. Fleets don't always have the ability to perfectly monitor the quality of fuel that they have access to. And if we're utilizing previously a fuel lubricated high pressure fuel pump, it was a little bit more susceptible when you didn't have super high quality fuel. So an oil lubricated pump helps with that robustness factor as well. So on the hot side of the engine, we've got some enhancements to the turbocharger. We're using that same asymmetric turbo from the previous generation system with some optimizations and enhancements. First thing, we're bringing over that efficient ball bearing design that was previously only utilized in the efficiency ratings of the previous generation, but we're applying that across the board to all displacements and all engine ratings. That ball bearing design, one, more efficient, it can spool up more quickly, which leads to better throttle response too. We're pairing that with a simple wastegate, and that wastegate really allows us to really precisely control the airflow even more. And so think about the various different types of applications that these engines are utilized in, and something especially like high altitude. That wastegate combined with that ball bearing design turbo allows us to even precisely control air more precisely to allow consistent performance and spool up even at high altitudes, which is really important for our customers operating at those higher elevations. But to the hot side, that's pretty much it.
EPA next year will tighten tailpipe NOx emissions to a level 80% plus below the current standard and reduce the particulate matter limit by 50%. To meet these new standards, truck and engine OEMs will turn to next generation technologies. In Detroit's case, it was important to keep those technologies familiar. For its Gen 6 DD lineup, Detroit will utilize a Pre-SCR system. Positioned upstream of the primary aftertreatment system, this helps the engine reach operating temperatures faster, a critical factor in reducing emissions during cold starts and minimizing the need for parked regens. Since the Pre-SCR system introduces DEF ahead of the primary aftertreatment, it takes advantage of exhaust heat before the ATS gets to operating temperature. Hardware and functionality are nearly identical to the SCR in use since 2010. The Gen 6 Pre-SCR system sits on top of the current one-box footprint, preserving existing chassis space with no impact on back-of-cab packaging. That's an advantage for vocational customers and truck equipment manufacturers. A thermal control valve introduced on the Gen 5 DD13 is being rolled out to all Gen 6 engines. It articulates to increase the heat output from the engine, improving aftertreatment performance. It also enables faster aftertreatment warm-up, faster regens, more passive regens in low-duty cycle operations, lower exhaust gas emissions, and it virtually eliminates the need for parked regens for most applications. The same asymmetric turbo that Detroit first launched in 2014 has been further enhanced to improve responsiveness and efficiency, while innovative thermal management features reduce regeneration frequency. More responsive and consistent airflow from the turbo helped unlock 3 new power ratings. Vocational customers, specifically those looking for a 500 horsepower engine but weren't ready to take the leap to an 1850 foot-pound of torque, can get a DD13 with 505 horsepower and 1750 foot-pounds. The DD15 can be spec'd with 425 horsepower and 455 horsepower. That's paired with 1900 foot-pounds of torque, enabling greater downspeeding capabilities. Otherwise, the power ratings from the Gen 5 models remain unchanged for Gen 6. That's up to 525 horsepower and 1850 foot-pounds for the DD13, up to 505 horsepower and 1850 foot-pounds in the DD15, and up to 605 horsepower and 2050 foot-pounds for the DD16. The new engines will be compliant with a new diesel engine oil category set to debut next year. Detroit's not yet decided what the factory fill will be for the Gen 6 line, but Detroit was the first OEM to use the current FA4 engine oil as a factory fill for its added benefits. An added bonus is that the Gen 6 DD line will meet the 2027 emission standards without changing service intervals. The Detroit Gen 6 DD13 and DD15 engines will be available in January 2027. DD16 production kicks off the following January of 28.